Right, so today I want to talk about a story from the Washington Post that came out last week, and the title is Unauthorized Immigrants Face Public Backlash in Mexico, Survey Finds. And this is a very interesting survey in that, I'll pull it up here. 55% of Mexicans polled say Central American or South American migrants should be deported to their own country or back to their whatever country they came from. 33% say they should be given temporary residence. 7% say they should get residency, and then 6% have no opinion. So, in other words, the overwhelming majority of them want them deported. And the thing about this study is that if this was people in the U.S., it would be decried as racist and xenophobic or whatever kind of things that the left would call Islamophobic. I guess it would be the other one pulled in. But the big thing about racism nowadays is that it's not used as how it used to be. It's people who are accused of racist, overwhelmingly it's for political gain. And I seen a poll recently that it really shows the divide that's out there nowadays. That I think it was about 80 or 85% of Democrats believe that Trump and Trump supporters on average are racist, and about 80 to 90% of Trump supporters believe that race is just people who accuse others of racism just do it for political gain. So you have this massive difference in both sides. I think it's obvious which one is at least more right, on at least on average. I mean, anybody calling Trump, like, none of the racism things that he's been accused of have actually came through and been proven. They're all anecdotal, or at least a lot of them are anecdotal that were completely proven wrong. Um, and that I think it's pretty safe to say that the majority of accusations of racism nowadays are merely for political gain. I mean, you see that in Canada just as much too, with the Liberals' policy basically is, if you don't agree with all our policies on immigration and all these things, you're racist. That's literally basically what their position is. It's, we can't have an argument or a debate or anything. It's, you either agree with us or you're racist, and that's basically the Democrats' position, especially the far left Democrats' position. But even like a Joe Biden, who's considered the moderate, has called Trump racist. So it's really all Democrats. I mean, so people who, yes, there's exceptions, but as far as the Democratic politicians go, it's pretty much all of them. You're like, let's be honest, you're not fixing anything by claiming, oh, it's not all of them. It pretty much is. Like, let's just be honest. Um, and the other thing too is that it just shows the double standard of the left, which their entire political belief system is based off double standards, immoral, unethical thing. They'll claim it's for that, but then they'll contradict it in another way, in that they claim that it's racist for Trump supporters or Trump to want to deport illegal immigrants, which, again, illegal isn't a race, immigrant isn't a race. Technically, I don't even know if Hispanic's considered a race. I believe it needs to be broken down even more. But then where are all these people calling the Trump and Trump supporters racist? Where are they calling Mexicans racist? Like, where are they? And the reason they're not doing it is pretty obvious. It's that they're only against it when it's the other team doing it, which is something that people who claim to be centrist, they're very aware of the right, when it's my team and you're biased to the left, and when it's my team and you're biased to the right, and they really disregard the fact that politics is clearly biased to the left nowadays. Like, you're not fooling anyone. You're not, like I said, you're not fixing anything by claiming everything's roughly the same on both sides. And the media, like I always say, the media is overwhelmingly biased to the left. Public schools overwhelmingly biased to the left. College is even more biased to the left. Like, if you're a kid growing up, it's almost impossible, unless you really, really go out of your way, to get a view on politics nowadays that's at least fair on both sides. Unless you grow up in a very right wing family, like, that's about the only way unless you're a natural person who questions things. But like I said, it's pretty hard for that. But the whole point of this video is that it just exposes another one of the left's double standards, and just exposes just that everything they do is just for political gain. They don't actually care about racism. If they cared about racism, they would care about racism when it happens to different races, and they wouldn't call people racist because their great 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 grandpa had slaves. Like that's insane. Like I said, that it's the same people claiming that you're responsible for something that your 10 generations ago parents did, but if you're a single mom and you've had 3 or 4 kids from 3 different guys, well, you're definitely not responsible for the fact that they didn't stick around and did a horrible job picking a man to have kids with. You're definitely not responsible for that. So it's this double speak, backwards way of thinking this is the stuff that's holding society back, and people claim that we have it so good in the first world, which is true, but we could have it a hell of a lot better, and by default, the people at the bottom would also come up. That's something that people don't seem to realize, is that they say that whenever someone complains about life in the first world, it's, oh, well, you have a lot better than someone in the third world, which is true, but to get the third world better, the first world has to improve. That's if you want to. It's the argument that if you want economic productivity to go up, or you want, like in any business or anything, if you want it to improve, well, there has to be a wealth or a production or an earning gap, because if you look at in a sales firm or anything, that the square root of the business or whatever will produce half the value. So if you have 1,000 workers, about 100 of them are going to produce half the value, and then it's within that and within that. So if you want to improve the third world, well, you got to improve the first world too, because if the first world technologies get that much better, that makes it that much cheaper for the third world countries to adopt the technology that the first world had and whatnot. So obviously there's a whole lot more in that topic, but it's something I just wanted to bring up. But like I said, the whole point of this video is to show that the left doesn't care about racism. If they did, they'd be calling Mexico horribly racist, and you guys are just like Trump, like, what are you doing? But they don't care. They only care when it's the other team doing it. When their team does it, it's great. So that's about it as far as this video goes. That's basically the take-home message of this video, and if you liked it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.